Okay, so we got some intel on your dog.
Oh.
And it sounds like things are getting a little rough around the edges at home. Chewed shoes, maybe some barking marathons going on,
Yeah,
maybe a furry shadow that's permanently attached to your leg.
I've been there.
We get it. Dog boredom can be like a real
Not a
puzzle.
real head scratcher, yeah.
But thankfully, you also sent us this article, uh, Top 7 Signs Your Dog Might Be Bored, and How to Fix It.
Okay. Yeah.
And to help us decode those signals and find some solutions, we have our expert here.
I'm happy to be here.
Awesome.
What I think is interesting is that so often we misunderstand our dog's behavior. We just label them as bad or naughty when really they're just trying to tell us that they need something.
Yeah, it's like they're speaking a different language, right?
Absolutely.
And the first sign that the article mentions is destructive behavior.
Okay.
But I've always wondered, like, is it really just boredom? Or could there be more to it?
Well, you have to kind of think of it from their perspective, Like, in the wild, dogs would spend much of their day hunting, foraging, problem solving.
Right.
But we've domesticated them.
Right.
But all those, instincts haven't disappeared.
Right.
So if we don't provide outlets for that mental energy, they're going to find their own.
Yeah.
Which often is not to our liking.
So, like, that time that my dog decided to redecorate the living room with the stuffing from my couch cushions, he seemed pretty proud of himself, actually.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He was engaging his brain. He was solving the how do I get to this fluffy stuff puzzle.
Yeah.
The key is redirecting that drive,
Yeah.
not just punishing the outcome.
Okay, so instead of getting upset about the chewed-up shoe, I should be impressed by their problem-solving skills.
Well, maybe not impressed, but understanding,
Yeah.
providing the right kind of outlets, that can make a world of difference.
So what are we talking about here? Just like piles of chew toys.
Well, I mean, chew toys are a good start.
Okay.
But think about variety,
Yeah.
different textures, durability, even shapes.
Mm-hmm.
All those appeal to different dogs.
Okay.
A heavy chewer needs something that can stand up to those chompers.
Right.
While a gentler dog might prefer a softer toy for gnawing.
So it's like building a chew toy wardrobe for them.
Exactly.
That's fun.
Yeah, keep them stylish.
And I've heard good things about puzzle toys. Those seem like a good brain workout, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Puzzle toys, they really tap into those natural foraging instincts. Instead of just getting a treat, they have to work for it. They've got to solve the puzzle and figure out the mechanism.
Like a mental obstacle course.
Yeah.
For treats.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we've tackled the destructive behavior.
Okay.
But what about, like, those dogs who are basically furry Velcro?
Yeah.
The ones that are, like, glued to your side 24/7.
Yeah.
Or maybe they prefer to serenade the neighborhood with a nonstop barking symphony.
Right. Yeah.
What about those guys?
Yeah, the article lumps those excessive barking and whining together with that clinginess.
Okay.
And while it can be attention-seeking,
Yeah.
it often boils down to anxiety or insecurity.
So it's not just I'm bored, entertain me. It's more like I'm uneasy, don't leave me.
Exactly.
Okay.
Think about it. For a dog,
Hmm.
being alone, that can be really stressful.
Yeah.
They don't understand where we go
Right.
or when we're coming back.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So how do we soothe those anxieties and teach them to be more independent? Besides investing in some top-notch earplugs, I mean.
Right. Well, the article does mention brain training for dogs,
Oh, okay.
which we'll dive into more later.
Yeah.
But even simple things like making sure that they get plenty of exercise before you leave them alone, that can make a huge difference.
So a tired dog is a less anxious dog.
Precisely.
I can see how that works.
Yeah.
I like that.
And instead of just letting them, follow you around the house,
Right.
creating designated spaces for them can really help.
Okay.
Imagine, like a cozy corner near a window with a comfy bed and some puzzle toys.
Yeah.
It gives them that sense of security and something to focus on when you're busy.
It's like giving them their own little retreat.
Exactly.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
So we've talked about chewing, barking, clinginess.
Okay.
What other signs of boredom should we be on the lookout for?
Well, the article groups excessive licking, restlessness, and digging together, all kind of as signs of pent-up energy that needs an outlet.
I can definitely relate to the restlessness part.
Yeah.
They mention how it's like us tossing and turning in bed when we can't sleep. And it's like they just can't settle.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been there.
for sure.
But But isn't digging just, well, a dog being a dog?
It is. It's, digging's a natural instinct.
Yeah.
It's often tied to denning behaviors. But in a home environment, it can become excessive if they're not getting enough physical and mental stimulation.
Right, because a walk around the block might tire them out physically, but it doesn't really engage their minds in the same way.
Exactly.
So how do we tap into that digging instinct without ending up with a backyard that looks like a lunar landscape?
Right. Well, one solution is creating a designated digging area.
Okay.
Think of it like a sandbox for your dog.
I like that.
You can buy pre-made ones or even DIY it with like a sturdy container and some safe digging material.
Yeah.
Bury some toys or treats in there.
Okay.
And they can indulge that instinct in a controlled environment.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's like channeling that natural behavior in a way that works for both of you.
Exactly. And it can actually be a really fun activity for both of you.
I love that.
You can hide toys and treats. You can turn it into a game of Find It and really engage their senses.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So we've covered chewing, digging, barking. It seems like a lot of these boredom signs are actually just natural dog behaviors that become problematic when they don't have the right outlets.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's not about like suppressing those instincts. It's about like understanding them and finding ways to channel them constructively.
Speaking of instincts, the article also mentions excessive licking as a potential boredom sign.
Okay.
I've always wondered, like, why do dogs lick so much? Is it just affection? Or could it be more to it?
Well, licking can definitely be a sign of affection.
Okay.
But it can also serve other purposes. For puppies, it's a way of seeking comfort and attention from their mothers.
Okay.
And for dogs of all ages, licking can release endorphins, kind of like a self-soothing mechanism.
So when my dog licks the carpet for like 10 minutes straight, is he stressed, bored, or just enjoying a little endorphin rush?
Right. And it's probably a combination of factors.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to look at the whole picture, not just, one isolated behavior.
Right.
Are they getting enough exercise, mental stimulation?
Yeah.
Are there any changes in their environment that might be causing stress?
Yeah, it's like being a dog detective.
Yeah.
Constantly gathering clues.
Exactly.
But even with all the best intentions, sometimes our dogs still find ways to push our buttons.
Oh, yeah.
The article talks about attention-seeking behavior, those moments when, they're vying for the spotlight.
Yeah.
Whether we're busy or not.
Right.
I'm sure we've all been there.
The classic attention-grabbing antics.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Attention-seeking behavior.
Yeah.
It's often a symptom of an unmet need.
Okay.
It could be boredom, lack of exercise, or even just, wanting more connection with you.
So instead of getting frustrated, we should see it as like a communication attempt.
Exactly.
Like they're trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
But isn't that kind of manipulative? I mean, my dog knows exactly what to do to get a reaction out of me.
Well, I wouldn't call it manipulation.
Okay.
Like in the human sense.
Yeah.
Dogs don't, they don't have these like complex thought processes as we do.
Right. Yeah.
They're simply responding to what's worked for them in the past.
Okay.
If they've learned that barking incessantly gets them attention, even if it's negative attention.
Right.
They're likely to repeat that behavior.
So it's our job to kind of teach them more appropriate ways to communicate their needs.
Exactly.
And this is where the Brain Training for Dogs program comes in, right?
Yeah.
It seems to pop up a lot in this article.
It does. Brain training for dogs is mentioned as like an effective solution for a lot of these boredom-related issues.
Yeah.
But before we really dive into that,
I think it's important to emphasize that there's no like one-size-fits-all solution.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Every dog is an individual.
Absolutely.
With their own personality, breed tendencies, and life experiences.
Exactly.
So while brain training for dogs can be a great tool, it's not, a magic bullet.
It's not a cure-all.
Yeah.
It's about finding what works best for your individual dog.
Right.
And incorporating a variety of enrichment activities into their daily routine.
Okay, so let's talk about those activities.
Okay.
What are some things we can do to keep our dogs mentally stimulated and prevent boredom from setting in?
Well, we've already touched on a few, key areas.
Yeah.
Providing appropriate chew toys, introducing puzzle toys, creating designated digging areas,
Yeah.
making sure they get enough physical exercise.
Right.
But there's so much more we can do.
I'm all ears.
All right. So training.
Okay.
Training is a fantastic way to engage their minds.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be all, like obedience.
Right.
You can teach them fun tricks, introduce scent work, or even try like agility training.
Okay.
It's all about finding activities that challenge them mentally and physically.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like giving them a job to do, something that makes them feel like purposeful and engaged.
Exactly.
What about interactive play?
Oh, yeah.
I know my dog goes nuts for a good game of fetch.
Interactive play is crucial.
Yeah.
Games like fetch, tug of war, hide and seek.
Mm-hmm.
These are all great ways to, bond with your dog and provide mental and physical stimulation.
And it's fun for us, too.
Absolutely. It's a win-win for everybody involved.
Yeah.
But it's also important to remember that mental enrichment isn't just about structured activities.
Right.
It's about incorporating those enriching moments into everyday life.
So what does that look like?
Well, it could be as simple as like taking a different route on your walk.
Letting them sniff and explore new environments, or even just like scattering their kibble around the yard instead of putting it in a bowl.
It's like turning their everyday life into a scavenger hunt.
Exactly.
I love that.
And those little moments of enrichment, they can really add up.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
We've talked about understanding our dog's natural instincts, recognizing the signs of boredom,
Right.
and exploring a variety of enrichment activities.
For sure.
But I know our listeners are eager to hear more about this Brain Training for Dogs program.
Okay.
Can you give us like a deeper dive into what makes it so effective?
Absolutely. Brain Training for Dogs is based on the principles of positive reinforcement and operant conditioning.
So it's all about like rewarding desired behaviors and ignoring or redirecting the unwanted ones.
Exactly.
Sounds like a much more positive approach than the old school methods I grew up with.
It is. And what's great about Brain Training for Dogs is it kind of like breaks down these complex training concepts into like easy to understand steps.
Right.
It's designed for everyday dog owners, not just like professional trainers.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
I've always been a little intimidated by dog training.
Yeah.
It seems like there's so much to learn.
There is.
Yeah.
But that's what's so exciting about it. You know, it's a journey of discovery for both you and your dog.
I like that.
And Brain Training for Dogs kind of gives you like a roadmap for that journey.
Okay, so how does it actually work? What kind of training does it involve?
Well, the program includes a variety of like games and exercises that target different aspects of your dog's cognitive development.
So it's not just about obedience training. It's about like developing their minds in a more holistic way.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, it's about giving them the mental tools they need to navigate the world and thrive in a human environment.
I can see how that would be beneficial for any dog.
Yeah.
Regardless of breed or age. But we've talked a lot about brain training for dogs as a solution for boredom.
Right.
How does it specifically address that issue?
Well, by engaging their minds in challenging and rewarding activities, you're essentially fulfilling that need for mental stimulation that we talked about earlier.
So it's like giving them a mental workout.
Precisely.
Okay, so a tired dog is a well-behaved dog.
A tired dog is a dog that's less likely to get into trouble.
Okay, I like that.
But more importantly, a dog who is mentally stimulated is a happier, more confident dog.
That's what every dog owner wants, right?
Absolutely.
To see their furry friend thriving.
It's amazing to witness the transformation that can happen when you start incorporating these enrichment activities into your dog's life.
I bet. So for our listeners who are ready to embark on this brain training journey, what advice would you give them?
Well, the first step is to commit to making it a part of your daily routine.
Okay.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
When it comes to dog training.
That makes sense.
And remember, it's supposed to be fun.
Yes. That's such an important reminder.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the, the training aspect and forget that it should be like an enjoyable experience for both of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So choose activities that you and your dog both enjoy.
Right.
Celebrate their successes no matter how small. And don't be afraid to, get creative.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about finding what works for you and your dog and building that connection through play and learning.
Exactly.
So so thinking about your own dog,
Yeah.
what stands out to you the most from what we've unpacked?
It's fascinating to me how much we can enrich our dogs' lives simply by, understanding their natural instincts and finding creative ways to fulfill those needs.
Right.
But it also makes you wonder, what other mysteries are hidden within those wagging tails and soulful eyes.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we'll never fully understand like the complexities of the canine mind, but that's part of what makes them so fascinating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to discover.
Well said.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this journey so rewarding. So to our listeners out there, keep observing, keep learning, and keep playing.
Yes.
You might be surprised at what you discover about your furry friend and maybe even yourself along the way.
And remember, a bored dog is a dog waiting to happen.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of dog boredom. We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration.
Yeah.
Until then, keep those tails wagging and those minds engaged.